It is Thursday, October 5th, 2023, and looking out the window at Defiance. It's kind of an overcast morning, and I think we're going to be getting some rain this afternoon. Things will be shifting up. Today will be high in the 80s, and then tomorrow we're going to see a weather change. So that's probably why the rain's coming in. The devotion for today is entitled Turning by Mary Ludy. Mary bases the devotion upon Philippians chapter 3, verses 7 through 11, New Revised Standard Version, Updated Edition, adapted. Whatever gains I had, I have come to regard as loss for Christ's sake. For him I have suffered the loss of all things, and regard them as rubbish, in order that I may be found in him. And then Mary writes, in a famous story about the young Francis of Assisi, he came across a leper in the road. Townspeople regarded lepers warily, but often showed compassion, offering them a loaf or a coin, if, that is, they could get past their revulsion. Francis never could. Yet that day, impelled by some mysterious inevitability, this wealthy young libertine dismounted, knelt before an afflicted man, and kissed his disfigured hand. After Francis began attracting followers, their first ministry together was in a leper community. It's not surprising, then, that the story of his spontaneous embrace of that leper on the road would come to be regarded as a radical conversion the moment he became a saint. But Francis never spoke about a converting encounter with a leper, never mentioned the kiss. Instead, in his final testament, he recalled simply that God had led him among lepers to live with them, to share their lot. It was this daily rub that gradually drew him out of the world into Christ's arms. If Francis is a saint, it's not because one day he didn't turn away from a leper. It was because he didn't turn away 1,000 times more. It was because his life was an ever-expanding, ever-deepening turning towards the suffering world. Most of us are good at spontaneous gestures of compassion, but holiness is a discipline, a way of life. God calls us all to turn towards something and to keep turning until we're made new. As a dying Francis said to his brothers, I've done what God gave me to do. May you do what is yours. And Mary's prayer. Turn me towards what is mine, O Christ. Keep turning me my whole life long. Amen. A few thoughts that came to my mind as I was reading this is how often in my own life there's been things that I don't want to say revulsed at, but struggled with and didn't want to think about. And then the more I thought about it, the more I engaged with it, I came to see in a different light. And I think that's true for a lot of people. It's personal knowledge that often changes how we perceive things, how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive others. It brings to mind how many stories I've heard of families coming to grips with someone who, a family member who has come out to them, and how maybe before, and this doesn't always happen, but maybe before they are coming out, they were so anti-LGBTQIA2+, but then coming to know someone personally that they love, coming to realize who they are and how much they love them, changes their mind and turns them around. And I think as I was reading this, what struck me most is Mary's comment that most of us are good at spontaneous gestures of compassion, but holiness is a discipline, a way of life. And it's a constant turning around. It's a constant evaluation of one's own attitudes and presence in the world and adjusting. I mean, that's what reconciliation literally means, is to turn, repentance, not reconciliation. Repentance is to turn around, to go in a different direction, to see in a different way. And it's a constant thing. We're never there. We're always on the journey. Hope you have a good day. If you're planning on joining us for worship, it will only be in person. We're not streaming this Sunday because we're going to be out at Auglaize Village in Defiance in a joint worship service with First Presbyterian Church, and there will also be a picnic afterwards. One of their members, Foyle Soleather, is smoking some meat. I think last year he did smoked pork chops, which were incredible. Um, and you're asked just to bring a dish to pass. We will have some water and I think some other drinks available, but you're encouraged to also bring whatever beverage you might want to bring. It's also their Johnny Appleseed Festival, so after the picnic, you can walk around the Auglaize Village and see their displays and sample some of the wares, because usually during the Johnny Appleseed Festival, there's people pressing cider, there's people making sorghum molasses, and sometimes the train is running. So there's lots of different things. It's a great event for people of all ages. So come join us. And if the weather's not participating, and it looks like it may not be, we'll be holding the service in the barn rather than outside. But if the weather's nice, we might be outside. So I hope you join us. I think 10:30 is our usual time for that. And I would look forward to seeing you there. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you next week. Hope you have a good day.